Hello, Mind Mappers, and welcome to the Learning Masterclass. This is an introduction to the course that I put together to help you drastically increase your learning ability and drastically decrease the amount of time that it takes you to learn any new skill. What I've done here is synthesized over 100 hours of my own personal reading from dozens of books from the world's experts on learning. As well as what I've done is throw a few of my own experiences in with the experiences of some of my coaching clients as well. Now, what we're going to do here inside this video is just give you a brief overview of what you can expect inside of the course. First, we're going to talk about what learning actually is, in my opinion. Here are a couple quotes that I pulled out that I think give us a good overview of what learning really is. Of course, the dictionary says it's the acquisition of knowledge or skills through experience, study, or by being taught. Josh Waitzkin, who is one of my favorite authors, says that it's the key to pursuing excellence is to embrace an organic, long-term learning process and not to live in a shell of static, safe mediocrity. Usually growth comes at the expense of previous comfort or safety. That gives you a little introduction to what we're going to be doing today. A lot of what we're talking about is getting rid of those old study habits that you have, getting rid of those old learning habits that you were taught, and turning you into a learning machine through some of the most impactful learning tools that I could possibly find in all of the books that I've read. Now, Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." And that's really what we're doing inside this course. Not only have I pulled out good quotes, not only have I pulled out time-tested advice from some of these authors, but what we're going to do is actually put this into play in your life. We're not going to be sitting on the sidelines. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to involve you so that you can learn how to learn. And of course, why is learning important? That's, of course, another thing that we need to look at before we actually dive directly into this. And it's my belief that whether you're a student right now or you're a person trying to move forward in their career or your business, and you're trying to stay ahead of your competition, learning, relearning, and doing it all in an efficient manner is extremely important, now more than ever. There's more information out there than ever in our world, and the skill of learning is going to be what keeps us ahead. Not the skill of knowing something already, but the ability to set out and learn something in a relatively quick and efficient manner is going to be what keeps you ahead of the competition, whether you're in a career or you're in business, or you're really just living your everyday life. And it's not all about achieving. Of course, you've listened to the channel before. Learning is not all about achieving. Goal setting is not all about achieving. Habits is not all about achieving. Really what it's about here is about, if you want to learn meditation, these techniques are going to help. If you want to learn how to be just a better partner in your relationships, these techniques are going to help. Do you want to learn a new language? These techniques are going to help. It's not all about achieving something in your career or in your business. Learning can help you in every area of your life. The goal of this course is to help you be a more efficient learner. This isn't about how to study for 14 hours a day. It's not what that is about. Instead, we're going to talk about what the science says is the best way for us to learn efficiently, meaning learning more in less time. That means if you want to study for 6 hours, great, you're going to get more out of those 6 hours. But what it also means is that if you want to study for 15 minutes in your day, between one meeting and the next meeting, or while you're drinking your coffee in the morning, or in replacing the 15 minutes that you would spend gossiping at lunch, these 15 minutes are going to be the most effective 15 minutes, and you're going to be able to get the most out of them if you use the techniques inside this course. And finally, let's talk about how this masterclass will work. If you haven't taken a course from me before, essentially what I've done is I've read what I believe to be some of the best books on learning. Books like A Mind for Numbers, How to Be a Straight A Student, The Procrastination Equation, Limitless, How We Learn, Make It Stick, The Art of Learning, Outliers, The Practicing Mind, and Hyperfocus. And then, of course, I do what I do. I pulled out the most practical, the skill-based, the timeless principles from those books and put them into a mind map. Of course, I've also added a few of my own experiences through my learning journey, taking me from someone who felt like they couldn't learn and did a really bad job inside of elementary school and inside of high school, to someone that basically learns for fun and someone that basically teaches other people how to learn for fun. And of course, I've also brought through some of the experiences from my coaching clients as well that I think you'll find very impactful. This course is for you. It's for you and your potential future. And the course is definitely for people who are looking to be better tomorrow than they were today. All of the techniques that we talked about are meant to be actually used. And that's what this class is really setting itself apart by. Everything that we're teaching here is not theory, it's something that we've practiced in the trenches. It's pulling out the principles from the books that can actually be used. Honing in on your learning skill via action, of course, is the name of the game. Don't just take notes here. Follow along with the mind map, which of course you'll get access to, and follow along with the exercises below. They're designed to make this masterclass stick. As all of my mind maps on my YouTube channel are, they're formatted in a very particular way to help you remember the points and be able to pull them into action when you need them the most during your everyday life. Before we shut this video off, this introduction off, let's talk a little bit about the points that we're going to be learning. Number one, we're going to talk about intensity. What's work accomplished actually mean? It means time times intensity. When, where, and how long? How intense should you be studying? We're going to talk about how to overcome procrastination via this really interesting equation. We're going to talk about mindset and how when you're putting in effort, it actually counts twice. We're going to talk about whether you think you can or you think you can't. You're actually right. Of course, we're going to talk about the fluency illusion. It's the number one enemy of effective learning. We need to overcome the fluency illusion if we're going to be an effective and efficient learner. Of course, we're going to talk about quiz time. What's the most important part of learning? Well, actually, it's the tests. You think you're studying for the tests, but the tests are actually the way that you study. This is all about how to learn faster. We're going to talk about varied practice. When we're baseball players, we don't want to just hit fastballs. We want to make sure that we're mixing the information up well, mixing up the mediums to get the best results. Our next point is about teach. Can you teach me, or can you explain it like I'm 5? For me, this is my most effective way of learning. Teaching other people is how I actually learn, so thanks for watching this video. Relax to remember. Our final point. Learning isn't always about being on full tension. Of course, we talked about intensity before, so tension is an important part of the process. But we want to make sure that we relax enough that we can remember. A very important part of learning that is often missed by people who haven't studied the learning literature. That's Learning Masterclass. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you inside of the course.